Welcome to the official Plugged In podcast. I'm Adam Holz.
And I'm Kristin Smith.
And today we're going to talk about a bear.
So Adam, what's up with the bear?
Oh, this is Cheetah Bear. This is my son's bear, and I brought him in especially today. My wife and I got Cheetah on our honeymoon.
Oh.
And then after our first child was born, Cheetah became Henry's most prized possession. And Henry has only let me borrow him today because he's going to be a YouTube star, superstar.
Oh.
So, that leads us into what we're talking about today, which is Paddington 2, which is in theaters this weekend. Paddington 2 is a sequel to Paddington, and once again we have a lovable stuffed bear, CGI bear, who most of us have some level of familiarity with, who is having another misadventure in London. And he's such a good bear, but he has such a propensity to get into trouble.
Yeah.
And Kristin, I don't know about you, but sometimes when my kids see a commercial and say, ooh, I really want to see that, inwardly I'm kind of like, oh, do we have to? And so you and I have both seen this movie, and I just want to get some of your thoughts today on, is this a movie that if parents go to see it with their kids, they're going to just spend 2 hours groaning inwardly or maybe even outwardly?
You know, Adam, I actually really loved Paddington 2. I think it was super funny. There were a lot of audible oohs and ahs, and it was
some from me, I think.
Right? Yeah, I actually heard you a few times. It was really clear that everyone really loved Paddington. I mean, you just wanna hold him. He's so cute.
What was it about the story that made it sort of a feel-good story for you?
You know, I think he's kind of like a hero. You know, Paddington's that lovable hero that everyone wants to hold on to. Everyone wants to be his friend, right? He's so cute. He's a little cleaner than this bear.
Yeah, that's true. We won't talk about that.
But he's a lot of fun, you know?
Uh-huh. And give us just a little glimpse of kind of the trouble that Paddington gets into this time around.
Yeah, so Paddington actually... he really wants this book for his Aunt Lucy, right? This really expensive book. So he washes windows and he helps neighbors and he does all these great things.
To earn money,
right? Yeah. And then he runs into this former actor who's kind of a con artist and gets framed. And because of that, he gets thrown into bear jail.
Paddington goes to the big house.
Yeah.
The Hooskow.
Yeah.
And... you know, I thought one of the nice things about this movie was, even though this sort of crazy thing happens to this bear, and he sort of really works to make the most of that. Like, he doesn't let it get him too far down. Talk a little bit about that takeaway in the film in terms of Paddington's attitude toward the hardships he faces.
Yeah, Paddington's the bear that... nothing can get him down, you know? He's very positive, and he always takes really terrible situations and turns them into wonderful opportunities. He has this saying, he says to himself, what would Aunt Lucy do? And she's this virtuous, loving Aunt Bear, you know.
She does everything right.
Exactly, everything that she does. She makes the best marmalade sandwiches. She's just the best. And so anytime he thinks about doing something bad or he's upset, he always thinks, what would Aunt Lucy do?
Right. And
it always turns him...
And so a little bit like, what would Jesus do? Not that Aunt Lucy is Jesus in any way, shape, or form, but Paddington has this sort of moral exemplar of this is how to behave in a certain situation. And Lucy is polite, she's determined, you know, she's just full of goodness. And, and I don't know about you, but this was a movie that made me feel like, man, this is a really nice movie. Yeah. And it's not even marred with too many toilet jokes or the kind of things that, you know, sometimes these film producers feel determined to sneak in for the sake of a laugh. The laughs felt really honest and clean.
Yeah.
Are there any other things that you feel like parents who are considering this movie definitely should be aware of with Paddington? What about like the intensity compared to the first one, for example?
You know, in the first one, Nicole Kidman played this really sinister villain. You know, she wanted to stuff Paddington.
She was creepy.
She was really creepy. However, Hugh Grant is really funny. You know, he does a really good job getting a laugh out of you. He's multiple characters. He does a really good job playing different roles. And I think it's more lighthearted. Definitely makes you laugh a little bit more than the first one.
Yeah, my kids liked it better than the first one, and I would agree with you. It's more lighthearted. I didn't walk out thinking, "Oh, my kids are going to have nightmares about, women trying to stuff their stuffed animals." That doesn't make any sense. But you take my meaning. Yes, Cheetah is already stuffed, but he is alive in our imaginations. Well, is there anything else that you want to say about Paddington that you feel like our audience should know about?
No, I think it's a great movie, and I think if you want to take your kids to go see it, you should.
And by all means, be sure to check out pluggedin.com just to make sure that there's nothing we've missed that you would need to be aware of before you go see this. But I think more so than most of the stuff that's out there these days, this is a really fun movie and aren't too many things we need to worry about. So I'm Adam Holz.
And I'm Kristin Smith.
And we'll see you next time on the official Plugged In Vodcast.